Jungkook named one of AOL's 15 global icons, the only Asian artist among the world's most influential names. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Kpop Update. Today, we ask you to slow down. This is not a story meant to be consumed quickly. This is a story meant to be felt. Because some achievements are not loud. Some recognition does not arrive with fireworks. Sometimes, history moves quietly, and only later do we realize we were standing inside a turning point. On January 29, 2026, the global entertainment world experienced one of those quiet turning points. No countdown. No teaser. No press conference. Just a list. AOL released its 2024 list of 15 global icons. A list not designed for trending names, but for figures whose influence reshapes culture itself. People whose presence alters conversations, behaviors, and even identity in the digital age. When audiences scan the names, they recognize giants. Cristiano Ronaldo, a symbol of athletic dominance known across every corner of the planet. Elon Musk, a figure whose ideas shape technology, economics, and future thinking. These are names associated with power. But then, something unexpected appeared. At number 15, quietly placed among those global titans, stood a name from an entirely different world. Jungkook. No title. No explanation. Just the name. And yet, the meaning behind that placement carried enormous weight. Because among all 15 figures, there was only one Asian individual. Only one representative from music. Only one artist whose influence was not rooted in institutions, corporations, or authority, but in emotion. That alone tells us something important. This list was not measuring control. It was measuring connection. AOL's methodology focused on data, social media engagement, cultural resonance, and sustained global impact. Not momentary popularity. Not hype cycles. But the ability to remain present in the world's consciousness, consistently, authentically, and meaningfully. In a time when attention is fractured and loyalty is rare, Jungkook's inclusion speaks volumes. Every image he posts sends ripples across platforms. Every public appearance sparks international discussion. Every creative choice becomes part of a larger cultural conversation. And yet, Jungkook himself remains remarkably grounded. He does not chase influence. He embodies it. To understand why this recognition matters, we need to look beyond charts and numbers, and instead look at the journey. Jungkook entered the public eye as a teenager. Young. Shy. Uncertain. He grew up not just in front of cameras, but under global scrutiny. Every mistake documented. Every success magnified. Every change noticed. And yet, through all of that, something rare remained consistent. Sincerity. Jungkook never presented himself as perfect. He presented himself as real. That authenticity became the foundation of his influence. People didn't just watch him. They grew with him. As BTS rose from a small company to a global phenomenon, Jungkook carried the weight of being the youngest, the one expected to learn fast, perform flawlessly, and represent the future. And he did. But the world often forgets how heavy that responsibility can be. Behind the polished performances were long nights. Behind the smiles were moments of doubt. Behind the success was relentless pressure. So when Jungkook stands today among global icons, it is not just a celebration of fame. It is recognition of endurance. Recognition that vulnerability can coexist with strength. For fans, this moment felt personal. Because they didn't just support an idol, they witnessed a human story unfold in real time. They watched him fall. They watched him rise. They watched him change. And now, the world is finally acknowledging what they always believed. That Jungkook represents more than K-pop. He represents a generation that communicates through feeling rather than authority. A generation that values honesty over perfection. A generation that understands influence is not about dominance, but resonance. This is why Jungkook's presence on the AOL list matters beyond the ranking itself. It signals a shift. Influence no longer belongs solely to those with institutional power. It belongs to those who can move hearts. And Jungkook does that effortlessly. His music crosses language barriers. His personality disarms distance. His presence creates belonging. In a fragmented world, that is not small power. That is immense power. Being the only Asian figure on the list is not about comparison. It is about representation. For decades, Asian artists were viewed as niche, admired, but rarely placed at the center of global cultural leadership. That narrative is changing. And Jungkook stands at the front of that transformation. Not by rejecting where he comes from, but by embracing it fully. Korean culture is no longer peripheral. It is global. And Jungkook is one of its most influential messengers. But recognition like this does not happen without foundation. Behind the cultural impact lies music. And behind the music lies a milestone that reshaped how the world perceives Jungkook as an artist. By mid-2025, his solo album Golden surpassed 4 billion streams on Spotify. 4 billion. Not views. Not impressions. Streams. Repeated listening. Intentional engagement. This achievement placed Jungkook in an elite global category, one that includes only a handful of artists across all genres and generations. But what truly matters is how those numbers were achieved. Golden was not driven by a single viral hit. It was sustained by global listening habits. People didn't just press play once. They came back. Again. And again. Across continents. Across cultures. Across age groups. This wasn't fandom loyalty alone. It was musical resonance. For the first time, Jungkook's artistry was being evaluated outside the BTS framework. And it didn't just survive. It thrived. Golden became proof that Jungkook could stand independently, not as an extension of a group, but as a complete global artist. Spotify's data revealed something critical. Jungkook's audience extended far beyond traditional K-pop listeners. Mainstream global listeners, people with no prior attachment to BTS, connected with his sound. They didn't need translation. Emotion translated itself. This marked a turning point. Jungkook was no longer introduced as a member of BTS. He was recognized as Jungkook, an artist with his own gravity. The album bridged two eras. The era of growth within BTS, and the era of self-definition. And when placed beside his inclusion on AOL's Global Icons list, the picture becomes clear. This is not coincidence. This is evolution. At a time when many artists struggle to maintain relevance, Jungkook continues to deepen his impact. He does not chase trends. He refines himself. Every step feels intentional. Every silence feels meaningful. And that restraint, that refusal to oversaturate, is part of why his influence lasts. Because Jungkook doesn't demand attention. He earns it. This is why this recognition matters. Not because it places him above others, but because it acknowledges a new model of influence. One built on empathy. On consistency. On emotional truth. This list may only be one page in history. But its message is powerful. An artist from South Korea can stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's most powerful figures. Music can shape global consciousness. Emotion can carry as much weight as technology or economics. And Jungkook's journey is far from complete. This is not an ending. It is a signal. A signal that the quiet strength he has built over years is now being recognized on the largest scale. The world is watching. And Jungkook, once the shy youngest member, now stands as one of the defining cultural figures of his generation.